Hey YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul, and welcome to another remake video. Today we'll be remaking Gucci Mane's track featuring Migos, I Get the Bag, so let's get straight to it. First things first, let's set our tempo, and that tempo should be 140 beats per minute. Give ourselves a 4-bar loop, give ourselves a 4-bar region, and let's start off with that main sound that we hear throughout the entire record. And we're going to be using Nexus 2 for this sound. So the preset that we'll be working with can be found under single layer pads, and the pad is called PD or pad bell pad 1. Alright, let's close that, open this up and draw in our pattern. So that pretty much repeats itself for the entire track. But let's go ahead and get this sounding more like the one in the original record. We're going to go over here is go to our amp modifier, and we're going to push up the attack knob. To about 2 o'clock right there. Next thing we're going to do is go down to our filter, turn that on, and we're going to pull down our cutoff. We're going to pull up our resonance a little bit. Next, let's go ahead and just pull up our reverb, our mix reverb. And we're just going to make this a little bit louder by pulling up the output. Alright, so that's our main sound right there. Let's go ahead and get to our next sound. So let's go ahead and create a new softer instrument track. We'll also be using ReFX Nexus 2. And the preset that we'll be using for here is, it can be found under Plucked. And it is PL Hands Up 1. PL Hands Up Bells 1. Go ahead and load that in. Let's close that and draw in our pattern. We'll push it up to a nice high octave here, because it's sort of like a high sound in the background. Alright, so here's the pattern right here. Let's go ahead and open up Nexus 2 and get that sounding more in the background. So we're going to go ahead and just pull up our attack once again. Then we're going to go ahead and pull up our reverb mix. I'm just going to pull down the mix here a little bit, as it should be more in the background. Alright, next let's go ahead and bring in those intro bells. We're going to create another softer instrument track. And once again, we'll be pulling in ReFX Nexus 2. This time, the preset that we'll be using can be found under the Plucked category. And the sound is called PLVZ Bells 2. Let's load that up and let's go ahead and draw in this pattern. Let's go ahead and just duplicate this over 8 bars and get something like this. Alright, next what we're going to do right here is just cut off some of the highs. We're going to go ahead and just filter out those highs by pulling down this right here. This gives it a little bit more darker feel. Let's go ahead and lower that a little bit more in the mix. Alright, that's good for that. Next, let's go ahead and bring in our 808s. Let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. Now we'll be working with Logic's ES2 preset, or the ES2 soft synth, and we're going to be using the preset that we always use in many of our remakes. It is that 808 preset. Here it is right here. This 808 pattern is an 8-bar pattern. So let's go ahead and draw that up. And of course, we're going to go down to a nice low octave. All right, let's work on the second half of that 808. So it essentially duplicates itself here. And we get a little sort of 808 stutters here. Alright, let's go ahead and open up our ES2 and get these 808 sounding more like the ones in the track itself. So we don't want it to be like a kick, we want it more to be of a 808 bass line. So I'm just going to pull up the attack here. Let's pull down the release, so after the note stops, it's going to release fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and pull up the drive. All right, let's go ahead and open up an EQ and just filter out some of those highs as we don't need them. All right, it sounds good just like that. Next, let's go ahead and start programming in our drums. Let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And we're going to be pulling in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument. And we'll be working with the drum kit I put together for this remake, the I Get the Bag drum kit. Let's make this nice and loud. And go ahead and start off with our claps, or a snare clap kind of mix. So I have a snare and a clap that I'm going to mix together here. Let's just work with the 4-bar patterns easier. Let's go ahead and bring in a little bit of reverb on this. We're going to bring in Logic Space Designer. And let's use the preset setting here. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate this track. Let's take out the space designer, and we're going to draw in our kick. That's our kick pattern right there. It's going to duplicate it over 8 bars. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate this track once again. And we're going to go ahead and draw in our hi-hats. All right, so let's go ahead and draw in this pattern. Now there are 2 hi-hat patterns in this track, hi-hat pattern 1 and hi-hat pattern 2, and it essentially changes itself up every 4 bars, switches from 1 to 2. So let's go ahead and work on the first one. Got to make those a little bit faster. And right here we have a quick stutter edit. So I'm just going to go change this over to my brush tool. And we'll set it to 30-second notes, which is already set. And we're just going to go ahead and draw in a little stutter hit here. All right, let's go ahead and change this back to 16. Change this to 16 and continue on with our pattern. It's pretty much just a straight hit all the way to the end here. All right, so now let's go ahead and just duplicate this over, and we're going to make the second hi-hat pattern. So we drop out this hit right here. So at the end right here, we get another hi-hat roll. So let's change this back to our brush tool. Let's take this one out here. And we're going to draw in 30-second note stutter hit. Kind of stutters and rolls down in pitch. So that's pretty much our intro pattern. Now the drums don't change throughout the entire track. It's pretty much the same thing. So let's go ahead and just duplicate this over for another 8 bars. The things that do come out here, however, are these intro bells and this high pitch sound that we put together at the beginning. So let's go ahead and create another software instrument track under this one. And we're going to bring in that sound that we hear in the verses. And I call it like this ghost sort of vocal sound. So let's go ahead and bring in another instance of ReFX Nexus 2. This time we're going to scroll down to the pluck category. And we'll be using the PL Bit Styles preset right here. And let's draw in, actually the pattern is the same as this high sound right here. All right, so it looks like it's in the right octave, but we got to make this sound more like a ghost vocal sound. So let's go ahead and open up Nexus 2 once again. We're going to pull up the attack here. Let's pull up the mix on the reverb to make it more spacey. Let's go to our master filter and we're going to pull down our cutoff. And we're going to pull up our resonance. kind of get this ghost whisper sound, if you will. All we're going to do here is just filter out some of the low end information. We're going to open up our EQ, pop on this guy right here. We're going to cut off some of those lows. That sounds pretty good like that. Next, let's just go ahead, go back down to our drums and duplicate this track right here. And we're going to bring in a set of open hats. So go ahead and open this up and draw in that pattern. Change this back to the pencil tool. Don't need the brush tool. And at the end here, it kind of drops in pitch. Whoa. Right there. All right, so let's duplicate that over the 8 bars. And this pretty much goes for another 8 bars, maybe 16 bars in the real track, I'm not sure. But then this new set of bells come into play. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this over. And we're gonna take out this ghost sound as it comes out. This high sound comes back into play. And then we're gonna create another instance of ReFX Nexus 2. And we're gonna bring in a whole new set of bars, or sorry, of bells. So let's go to category plucked, and this time we'll be using PL hands up bells 1. Here it is right here. Let's go ahead and close that and draw in that pattern. Now this pattern is an 8-bar pattern, so we're going to go ahead and stretch this out to 8 bars. And let's draw in the pattern. We're going to go to a higher octave because the bells are played out fairly high. And here we go. All right, let's move on to the next set of 2 bars here. Let's go on to the next set of 2 bars. So I'm losing my track of where I am here. Let me just see where we are here. All right, we are almost there. I think I got it. And then it kind of goes up in pitch here, something like this. And this is what it sounds like in its entirety. What we're gonna do here is just open up an EQ and we're gonna filter out some of the highs. Just gives it a little bit of a darker feel. And then this pretty much goes on for another 8 bars, and then it comes back into this bit right here. And that's pretty much the entire track. In a nutshell, this is the skeleton for all the tracks that are needed in Gucci Mane's I Get the Bag featuring Migos. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and listen to the remake that we just put together. So that right there is I Get the Bag by Gucci Mane featuring Migos. For you Logic users out there, I am going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys. Place that as a downloadable link in the description box below this video. For you non-Logic users out there, got your back as well. I'm going to go ahead and export all these MIDI stems that you see here. And I'm also going to include the entire drum pack or drum kit that I've used in this video. So you go ahead, import those MIDI stems, import those drum samples, and you got yourself a remake of I Get the Bag by Gucci Mane featuring Migos. So that's it for me, guys. If you have a question on this, you can ask me in the comment section below. For more great videos like this one, remember to thumbs up, share this video, and of course, hit that subscribe button for more great videos like this one. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.